Hey y'all, it's your girl Zaria, aka Black Phoebe Hallowell. I'm back with another video. I've been wondering what I should do my next topic on. I've been on a whole bunch of stuff for the past 2 days. I've been on reading about serial killers and everything. But I also just started watching The People versus O.J. Simpson, American Crime Story, and also on yesterday was the 26th anniversary of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman's death, So I've been into just researching about Robert Kardashian and the Kardashians and everything. Even though I have a love-hate relationship with the Kardashians, I know their whole life story. It's just too much. And I feel like because I live in Los Angeles, their dad grew up in Los Angeles, so there's just a lot of stuff that I found out. I was just like, wow. So I think I'm gonna sit here and do my story time on Robert Kardashian today. And basically it's going to be about how he grew up in Los Angeles, and certain parts of Los Angeles that he grew up in are actually black neighborhoods. And I'm just thinking how the Kardashians really don't pertain to these or really pay attention to these neighborhoods. But alright guys, also during this video I'm going to be doing a tarot reading on top. You'll see it at the top, and I don't know, it's going to be a crazy video, but please continue to watch, subscribe, and like this video. Thank you. Alright y'all, let's get into it. So at the top you're going to see my tarot reading. So the tarot deck that I'm pulling from is the Rider tarot deck. Anyway, it's just basically the classic tarot cards. But anyway, so you guys, let's start off. So Robert Kardashian Sr., actually Robert George Kardashian, the senior because Rob Kardashian Jr. is. But anyway, he was born on February 22nd, 1944 in Los Angeles, California, to Arthur Kardashian and to Helen Kardashian. So both, I was wondering which parents were Armenian, but it says that Helen was Armenian as well. His mother, her family migrated from Armenia to California, which is what his father did as well. His father's side was Armenian spiritual Christian immigrants from Karaköy, Turkey. They're from his father's side was from Turkey, Armenian people that was in Turkey. Anyways, so let me talk about it. Robert Kardashian, he grew up in Baldwin Hills, y'all. Baldwin Hills, Crenshaw. I'm from Los Angeles, and that is the area that I grew up in. I didn't exactly grow up in the rich part of Baldwin Hills, the actual hill, but I grew up in the downhills in the jungles, which is kind of considered still Baldwin Hills. So when you think about it, I was when I first found out, I was what? He grew up in Baldwin Hills, but I have to think some of these neighborhoods were white before they became a black neighborhood, because Baldwin Hills in Los Angeles is considered the black Beverly Hills. It's where the black celebrities will go live at, black people who just got money, middle class black people who just got money, y'all. And there was also a TV show called Baldwin Hills with just spoiled little middle class black kids who grew up with parents who were famous or parents who are in industry. Susan Miller Dorsey High School, which if you from LA, we call it Dorsey High, y'all. Dorsey. And my mom graduated from Dorsey High School, and it was black when she graduated, because I seen her yearbook. It was all black. That's why I was just bro, he graduated from a black school, grew up in a black neighborhood, probably wasn't black at that time, but I just wonder, why don't the Kardashians ever cater to the neighborhoods he grew up in? Baldwin Hills. I'll get to it. I'll probably tell you now. He's buried at Inglewood Cemetery, literally around the corner from my house right now. It was walking distance. That is where my father is buried too. That's where Johnny Cochran is buried. Johnny Cochran, the lawyer. Inglewood Cemetery. Etta James is buried there. Inglewood is a black neighborhood. Well, they're trying to change it. They're trying to gentrify it now and trying to make it white again. But Inglewood, California, it's the movie, The Wood, Inglewood, California. It's an urban neighborhood. They have to come to an urban neighborhood to visit their father and their grandparents, who are also buried there. Helen and Arthur Kardashian are buried in Inglewood too. So I was just I rarely see them cater to the neighborhoods that their father grew up in. But anyways, y'all, this is what Dorsey High School looks like, by the way, now. Y'all, it's a black and brown high school. Alright, y'all. So after Robert Sr. graduated from Susan Dorsey High School, it said when it came down to choosing a university, he chose University of Southern California, aka USC, y'all. Y'all might even gonna get into USC. People come from different states to go to that school and not even realize how bad of a neighborhood, y'all. They put a private university in the smack dab of the hood. But anyways, Robert ended up graduating with a degree in business administration in 1966. It said after realizing that he wanted to become a lawyer, he went to University of San Diego's law school, where he eventually earned his degree in law. Alright, y'all, let's get into the Robert and OJ situation, their friendship in particular. So it says that Robert Kardashian first crossed paths with Simpson around 1967 when he was a water boy for the University of Southern California football team, where they both attended. They said while Simpson was a running back, they both developed a friendship and became business partners. Around, I believe it says 1973 is when Robert realized he didn't want to pursue law anymore. He did a career switch. So they ended up doing different business together, investments together. They invested in a company called Juice Inc., which was frozen yogurt shops. And then also Robert also invested in other business. It says that Robert was present when OJ met Nicole, and that OJ was present when Robert met Chris Holton, aka Kris Jenner. By the way, the cards that I pulled from my reading were the Tower, the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Cups reversed, the King of Cups reversed, and the Ace of Cups. I asked my spirit guides to give me a message of basically of a situation that I'm going through with a significant other. Maybe I feel like the message was affected by what I was talking about. I'm over here talking about the Kardashians, so it could be thrown off. Alright, y'all, so Robert met Kristen Mary Holton, aka Kris Jenner, when she was 17 years old around 1973, but she was dating someone else named Caesar Xanadu. I pronounced that horribly wrong. I'm sorry. But supposedly that man was 10 years her senior too, and she ended up breaking his heart to get with Robert, and look what happened to Robert and her marriage. You get them how you lose them how you get them, right? So in 1975, Robert broke off things with Chris, who was at that time was just a flight attendant for American Airlines and was living in a 2-bedroom apartment in New York City, Harlem neighborhood. But he set his eyes on someone new, which was the 30-year-old Priscilla Presley, aka Elvis Presley's wife. You guys, I was just like, when I found out that he dated Elvis' ex-wife, I was just like, what? Like, but supposedly he ended the relationship because he wasn't able to turn Priscilla into the perfect Armenian wife. So after Robert and Priscilla didn't work out, he went back to Chris, hoping that they can get back together. And Chris was heartbroken and devastated by his highly publicized relationship with Priscilla. So eventually, Chris ended up taking Robert back, and 2 years later, on July 8, 1978, the two wed in Los Angeles, California. Chris was only 22 at the time, and Robert was 34. So eventually, Chris and Robert ended up going on to having 4 children together. Courtney, who was born 1979, Kim, who was born 1980, Chloe, who was born 1984, and Rob, who was born 1987. Let's say then Dynasty was born, Empire was born, and people just don't realize that they didn't come from nothing. People try to say that the sex tape that Kim made, even though, I call out Kim for her, her crap, her culture voting, but people try to make it seem like the Kardashians came from nothing. It says here, the family grew in wealth and size. They moved into a 7,000 square foot mansion in Beverly Hills. Like they had a swimming pool where they hung out with their closest friend, O.J. Simpson. It is now the late 80s, probably circa 90s, I'll say. Chris is in her 30s. She became a bored housewife. She loved her family, but she craved something else, and that is when she had began her affair with Todd Waterman. She described the affair as wild, crazy sex all the time. We had sex in the cars, sex on the tennis court, sex in the pool house, sex in the garage, and when we got home, sex up and down the stairs everywhere. So when Robert found out about the affair, he was not happy at all, y'all. He found out, supposedly I watched the episode where they said that Robert followed Chris and had her followed and everything. He found out about the affair and canceled her credit card. I'm not gonna lie, that's what I'm talking about. Alright, y'all. So by March 1991, Robert and Chris ended up getting a divorce. But the same year, she ended up marrying Bruce Jenner, who is now known as Caitlyn Jenner. And it says that Caitlyn even asked for permission before she married Chris in 1991. Alright now, y'all. So it's 1994, June 12, 1994 to be exact. Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman, a waiter at an Italian restaurant, are found murdered in Brentwood, California, 9 minutes away from OJ's house. So when this happened, Robert came to OJ's defense and wanted to be there, but Robert's law license wasn't even active. He ended up reactivating it just so he could be part of the Dream Team. The Dream Team refers to the team of the trial lawyers that represented OJ in his 1995 trial for the murder of Nicole Brown and Ronald Goldman. So the team included Robert Shapiro, I might be saying it wrong, Sarah Kaplan, Johnny Cochran, rest in peace, Carl Douglas, Sean Chapman, Gerard Uman, Robert Kardashian, Alan Jertzwitz, don't know how to pronounce that, Lee Bailey, Barry Schick, and Peter Newfield, and Robert Blazier, and William Thomason.
This is Chris and then husband Bruce Jenner talking to Inside Edition about the case during the trial, where they were regular spectators.
I think that this has been a really tough year, for tough 15 months for all of us. And not only have we lost Nicole, we've lost OJ too.
Chris was actually pregnant with Kendall Jenner.
Unfortunately, the O.J. Simpson trial ended up impacting Chris and Robert's friendship. Even though they were divorced, they tried to maintain a friendship. But since Robert stepped in to defend O.J. and Chris was on Nicole's side, she would sit on Nicole's side of the courtroom because Nicole was her best friend, obviously. And she even named Kendall after her. Her name is Kendall Nicole Jenner. It says that during the trial that she sat in the courtroom pregnant with Kendall and wore Nicole's hand-me-down maternity clothes in protest. So, just a few years after the O.J. Simpson trial, Robert ended up remarrying 2 times to a woman named Ellen Pearson, who was married to him just 6 weeks prior to his death, and then another woman, Jan Ashley. Alright, y'all. I'm going to end the video here. Unfortunately, Robert Kardashian was diagnosed with cancer of the esophagus in July of 2003. And 2 months later, unfortunately, the disease took his life on September 30th, 2003 at the age of 59. He leaves behind his 4 kids, Kim, Courtney, Chloe, and Rob. Thank you guys. If you like me doing more topics like this, please let me know. Please comment. Please give me feedback. If you hear me saying some of these terms wrong, please let me know. So I'm going to try to upload every single day because I have nothing else to do. We're in quarantine, so I might as well. So guys, please like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much.